a joint press conference with Scott Morrison, Boris Johnson and Joe Biden announcing AUKUS, AUKUS, Australia, UK, United States. AUKUS, this is the new tripartite strategic security partnership. Now, we've always been allies with the United Kingdom. Since World War II, we've been strong allies with the United States and have fought alongside them in every major conflict. So what is this all about? Well, here is how Scott Morrison, the Prime Minister, explained it earlier today.
We have always seen the world through a similar lens. We have always believed in a world that favours freedom, that respects human dignity, the rule of law, the independence of sovereign states and the peaceful fellowship of nations. And while we have always looked to each other to do what we believe is right, we have never left at each other. Always together, never alone. Our world is becoming more complex, especially here in our region, the Indo-Pacific. This affects us all. The future of the Indo-Pacific will impact all our futures.
The most tangible announcement to come out of this seems to be that Australia is going to get nuclear-powered submarines. Joe Biden and Boris Johnson were both at pains to say that this is existing proven technology and it's not about nuclear weapons. Scott Morrison said it's not about a domestic nuclear electricity industry. But on the line, Michael Shoebridge, he's the Director of the Defence Strategy and National Security Program at the Australian Strategic Policy Institute. Michael, good morning.
Morning. Good to talk to you.
Thank you for your time. How big a deal is this?
It's a very big deal. If you think back to 2016 when the French submarine deal was agreed, back then the world was not in the dangerous place it is now, so complex, expensive nuclear submarines didn't make a lot of sense. Fast forward not even 6 years, and now our strategic environment says nuclear submarines do make sense. That's a pretty radical shift.
Scott Morrison talking about the stability of the Indo-Pacific region. That is clearly squarely aimed at China, yes?
Yes, it is. The big change in our environment that makes this make sense is the way China is using its power under its leader, Xi Jinping. Without him and without China being aggressive and coercive, this wouldn't be happening.
Why do the nuclear submarines matter so much?
Well, for the kind of reasons that they have a big advantage over diesel and battery-powered submarines, which is what we were getting from the French. They are stealthier, they have a much longer range because they don't need refueling, and most importantly, when they're on a mission, they don't have to surface to recharge their batteries, so they're not easy to discover because they don't have to do that. Another big advantage is the nuclear power plant produces so much electrical energy that you can power all kinds of advanced sensors and weapons using it.
They're going to be built in Adelaide, but it doesn't appear that there is exact clarity about how they will be built or when they will be delivered.
No, there's a lot to be worked out, and the three leaders noted that. There's an 18-month implementation planning effort because the production timeline needs to be sorted out, workforce skills need to be sorted out, and all of the ways that Australia has to manage this nuclear capability without a civil industry and without weapons, but there's still a lot of regulatory and other work to be done. That's got to be planned over the next 18 months.
Is this putting a target on our back as far as China are concerned? How will it be greeted in Beijing?
No, it's not putting a target on our back. China's already busily coercing Australia because we've made our own choices, and it doesn't want other countries doing that. It wants countries making the choices it wants them to make. It's strengthening our security, and it's really showing Beijing that the world's powerful democracies are coming together to deter it from dictating what it wants others to do. So it's actually a message that's going the other way.
What about the Europeans, especially the French, who thought they had a contract to build our submarines? I note that one former French ambassador to the United States is using language like stabbed in the back.
Well, there'll be a lot of emotion, but, I can have some empathy for the French here because they've spent almost 6 years now trying to contort their nuclear submarine design into a diesel and battery submarine design because we told them that's what we wanted. They would be wondering why we didn't do this in the first place. So telling them the world's changed helps, but I can understand that reaction.
What about New Zealand? They're sort of conspicuous by their absence in all of this, Michael.
Well, New Zealand has a long-standing problem around the visit of nuclear warships. That's a reason that their full participation in the ANZUS alliance was suspended back in the New Zealand Prime Minister Longy era in the 80s. However, I don't think New Zealand has any intention to join a nuclear-powered submarine program or a submarine program. So the fact they're not part of this, I don't think is a huge deal.
Okay. We will wait and see where it all goes. Thank you very much, Michael. I appreciate your time this morning.
No trouble. Great to talk to you.
Michael Shoebridge, he is from the Australian Strategic Policy Institute.